Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns, liquid air on, and slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. I am your host, Marcus Thomas. I got a special guest with me tonight. Been trying to get for a long time and thought we were just going to have a nice, cool conversation about the Eagles and the Super Bowl win, and then bam, Howie Roseman steps in and says, hold my beer. I got some things I got to do, got some stuff I got to handle. But before we get into that, I got a special guest for you today. He is the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. If you were lucky enough to get down to the parade, he was the MC of the event. He was the MC of the event in 2017. So maybe he's the lucky charm we can keep. But without further ado, my buddy Dave Spadaro is in the building. What's going on, Dave?
Marcus, good evening. I am not the voice. Merrill is the voice. I will never take that from the greatest of all time. But, what an incredible run, right? Like, you know what it's like in Philly. It's tough to win in the NFL, number one.
Facts.
The Eagles, 51 seasons before winning a Super Bowl. And here we are 2 times in the last 7 seasons, 8 years. It feels so good. It will always feel so good. And then Howie Roseman does what Howie Roseman does and just gets right into the next season with the Saquon Barkley move on Tuesday. So, man, it just keeps getting better and better.
Keeps getting better and better, man. Howie is the Wizard of Philadelphia. I remember catching him as we were leaving the art museum, and you guys were getting back on the buses, and I caught him. And I got it on camera. I was like, dude, you are the Wizard of Philadelphia. You said you was gonna get it done, and you got it done, man.
With the blood trickling from his forehead after taking the can in the
soda can, the beer can.
But
man, that was crazy.
He didn't let it bother him at all. He got right back down to work. And I think what's interesting is, in the time between the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, and now there's a lot going on. You've got to prepare future contracts. How are you going to approach free agency? The salary cap change, $23 million per team increase.
Yeah.
A lot of ball, the NFL draft is coming up, the combine. We've already had that last week. There's a lot of balls that he's got to juggle, and how he's just so good at doing all of that and having a vision, and then also focusing on the now. So as impressive as it was to put that roster together for the 2024 season, he wants to get it back and make it even better for 2025. And tough task to do so, but signing Saquon, agreeing to terms with Saquon is a huge step in that he wasn't going anywhere, but it sends a message that if you are great, the greatest, we're going to keep you. And Marcus, we're old enough to remember the days when Reggie White left town.
Yeah, didn't want to leave, man. And that's one of the things I wanted to go over with you, man. Like we were here during the low. My rookie year was 93. So that was the end of Norman and the beginning of Jeff. So I always tell a story, man. I knew Jeffrey Lurie was special because in 94, I played in a preseason game, and I think it was the first preseason game that year. Jeffrey had just bought the team, so he's trying to make a good impression. And as we're coming in the locker room after the game, I don't even remember who we played, man. But I was one of the first people in the locker room, and he shook my hand, looked me in the eye, and said, "Great job, Marcus." I don't even know if I played, you know what I mean? But I remember that he took the time to know who I was when he really didn't have to. But that let me know that he was trying to go to extra effort, man. And I always respected Jeffrey for that. And every time that I've seen him or met him, the same thing. He'll shake your hand, look you in the eye, call you by your first name, and let you know you remembered and appreciated, and all of that type of stuff, man. Jeffrey Lurie is different, dude. He was different.
and his track record speaks to that. I mean, he's owned the team for 31 years. The Eagles have been in the playoff 19 times,
Yep.
8 NFC Championship game appearances, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 2 wins. And there's and then you look at like all of the other things. Every coach he's hired has been in the playoffs. Look around the league at all of the people who have come through the Eagles and who are now general managers, who are now head coaches, who are now executives, and nobody has anything but great things to say about how Jeffrey Lurie treats them. And from that moment to now, and he's done it with humility. He's done it with grace, and he's done it with great hunger, and he brings in people with great character. So, and it's a team to be proud of. And he talked about that at the Super Bowl, pre-Super Bowl game, about the formula. And it's always been build an organization with selfless people, hardworking, creative, not, people who are willing to take risks, and then make sure that you also understand that we have a platform to help people beyond the football field, people who really need help. He's always reached out, and the Eagles have been so strong in the community from day one. So I have been blessed to be here for so long, and I really appreciate what Jeffrey is and how he treats everybody.
Yeah, man, he's doing it different, man, and just going like from when did you start with the Eagles? Because you go
so
way
Eagles
back
Digest,
to the Westchester days.
Yeah, Westchester days started in '85 for me. '89 was Eagles Digest, which was a joint venture team newspaper. Back when they had newspapers. I don't know if anybody knows what a newspaper is anymore. And then I joined the organization in '97, just as we had gained, permission to and financing to build Lincoln Financial Field and right here at the NovaCare complex. And so we built an internal media department, and away we have gone. And here I used to be the young guy, Marcus. Now I'm the old guy, and it's really been great to evolve and see this organization grow into truly one of the elite in all of sports.
Man, and looking at in the lean days back in the day to now being a destination franchise where people want to come. Like I will never forget when we signed, and this was 22, that second Super Bowl run, when we got Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. And I was like, we are a true destination team now where people want to come, vets want to come if they trying to get their last shot at getting the ring. Yeah. And that says a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, and he does it right. Like, and how he does it right, and how he is given permission to kind of restructure deals and move money into the future. And there's 2 things in the NFL that matter at this time of the year: this salary cap and then cash spent. And the Eagles always spend among the very most dollars in the NFL, and how he puts together a roster that sustains, that is built for the long haul. And when you look at what they're doing now, you go, okay, free agency is going to start here in a couple of days, and there's no way they're going to be able to keep everybody. But this is a team that has a really good chance of being an impact team in 2025 because they've drafted well, they've developed well, and they've been able to compete at a super high level. And Coach Sirianni, Nick Sirianni, the 5th coach that Jeffrey has hired, has done an amazing job. So Jeffrey Lurie should get all the credit, and he allows people to do his job, their jobs, because it's certainly a not just man here. And here we are celebrating Super Bowl 59, and waiting to see what the Eagles do in free agency.
Yeah, man. And you were talking about the formula, and the one thing about Jeffrey Lurie, at least it seems to me, that he has figured out that sometimes, a lot of the times, the best thing you can do is hire the right people, do your homework, hire the right people, and then let them do what you hired them to do. And it is so interesting how a lot of other owners in the league got to get their hands dirty. And it's like, listen, man, that ain't your thing. That ain't, you're not putting AJ Brown in the backfield, and you're not putting Saquon at X receiver. Let them do what you hired them to do. And it seems like Jeffrey Lurie has figured that out, and just like, hey, I'm hands off. I'll step in when I need to, but I trust you, and I'm gonna let you do what you do best.
Yeah, and also, don't shy away from risk. Don't shy away
Yeah,
from a healthy conversation that could result and include some disagreement. Don't have an ego that's so large when you think you're right all the time.
yeah,
Man, that is not the way to run a business. That is not the way to build a football team. Just because you are rich doesn't mean you're smart.
facts.
And Jeffrey is both, and so he's been tremendous. And the stability in the front office is, admirable. And Howie's been here for 20 plus years, and Howie's had his ups and downs, and Howie
Yeah,
was banished at one point, and he
he
learned
took
his
his
lessons,
lumps.
right?
He
Took
took
his
his
lumps.
lumps.
That's what you got to do that in this league, right? Like this, things are not going to go well all the time. It is a very competitive league in every single way, and working in the NFL, we're not on vacation here. We're not partying it up after winning the Super Bowl. We had a
Right.
very short time to celebrate, and then you get right back into it. So it takes a tremendous amount of tenacity, of making sure that you are going and taking care of every single detail and not taking shortcuts. And again, the Eagles are a team that's right there at the top of the league.
Absolutely, man. And when you talk about trust, man, one of my former teammates, me and this guy, we played together when I was with the Scottish Claymores in the World League. He was our quarterback when we won the World Bowl in '96. His name is Jim Ballard. He played for Buffalo for a couple years. But going back to when we hired Sirianni, he coached Sirianni at Mount Union.
Oh boy.
So he was familiar. You know what I mean? And I remember having him on my podcast right after the first press conference. And I was like, bro, I don't know what we got here. And to his credit, he said from day one, he said, man, don't even pay attention to that. He was like, trust me. He was like, this dude's got it. He's got the drive. He's got the tenacity. I was like, he said, don't worry about that. He's like, trust me when I'm telling you, this dude is special. And damn it, if he wasn't.
Oh,
right.
I remember that press conference, man. But see, the thing that like people don't get, that was during COVID. He was in the auditorium here at the NovaCare Complex. He's looking up at this big screen with all these little headshots of all the media. It was very disconcerting, lacking atmosphere. It was a really tough environment. And the way that people went after Nick, I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Give the guy a chance. And then he had the press conference about pouring the water, watering the plants, and growing the seeds. And then the season turned around. And here we are, 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl victory. And Marcus, when you get down here to the NovaCare Complex next, and you look into the trophy case, and you see that if there ain't just one Lombardi, that it's got a sibling, it looks so much nicer.
So much better, bro.
Rather than one. And this team should be really good for a long time here.
Man, somebody put a tweet out a couple of days ago, and it said Jalen Hurts was born, grew up, went to college, transferred college, got drafted, all before the Cowboys won the NFC Championship.
I mean, look, the Cowboys thing is, whatever.
It is what it is.
I'm not shaming the Cowboys. They should be a good team this year, and the NFC East is certainly a different division, right? With Washington coming and Dallas talented and new coach and Giants fighting for survival here. If they don't get it done, they're going to have some major changes there. So, and there hasn't been a repeat winner in the division since 2003, 2004. So you never take anything for granted. You never feel too good about yourself, Marcus, except in that little window of time after you win the Super Bowl.
After the parade, man.
Right, because then it's, then it's right on to the next year. So here we are.
Hey, man, everybody is one play away, right? Every team, every player is one play away from glory or ruin. And I've talked about this a lot. The LA game in the snow. If Jalen Hurts' knee goes an inch to the left or to the right, it's a whole different conversation. You know what I mean? So, but
if Puka doesn't slip on the sidelines, maybe he makes that catch. And I don't know if Jalen Carter doesn't pressure Stafford. But yeah, I mean, I remember in 2010. It's funny how you remember the things that didn't go quite so well.
Yeah,
Green Bay's in town. Green Bay, the Eagles are driving with Michael Vick and throws a pass in the end zone to Riley Cooper, who doesn't really adjust on the ball, doesn't really come back to it in the end zone. Packers intercept it, hang on to win. go win the Super Bowl. 2017 playoffs. Eagles are playing Julio Jones and the Atlanta Falcons in the first round of the divisional round. The Eagles get a little bit lucky. Julio slips in the end zone, pass incomplete. Eagles hold on to win that game, go on to win the Super Bowl. So you are correct. It is a very sliver of difference between winning it all, losing it, not getting there, being a star player, having a 3-year career, having a 13-year career. Yeah. Everybody who gets to this level is great. And it's sometimes a bit of luck to take that next step.
Yeah, man. And I am hoping, probably not going to happen, but going forward, that people will start to put a little bit more respect on Jalen Hurts' name. Because I think he is.
Why wouldn't they, though? Like, why don't you think that's going to happen?
Man, because from the outside looking in, and now having been inside the locker room and know how them conversations go, and now being on the other side and tapped into the media and the way the social media landscape is now, I don't understand it, but everybody wants to find a way to discount him. And it's my opinion that because he don't check them stereotypical boxes, he's not 6'4", he can't throw the ball 90 yards in the air and all of that type of stuff. And I'm like, y'all still looking for the stuff. I put out a tweet right before the Super Bowl. I added it up. It's over 45,000 yards, 45,000 passing yards was at home watching the Super Bowl. 45,000 yards. So all of those specs and all of those check boxes that y'all looking for y'all stereotype elite level quarterback, all them dudes are sitting at home. And the guy you said that couldn't win, his arms wasn't good enough. Got to throw the ball better. And it's like, you want the guy that's going to win the game. And then when you talk about the respect factor, when Josh Allen throws for 140 yards and runs for 2 touchdowns, he's scrappy. When Jalen does it, he's got to get better at throwing the ball. When Mahomes does it, they found a way to win. And it's like, you hear all of that stuff, and it's like, listen, man, either y'all not paying attention or willingly you just trying to cause confusion, because clearly the dude is winning, but everybody want to have a problem with it, man.
I mean, maybe it's time then to dismiss those kinds of takes because they're ridiculous takes.
Quite ridiculous.
He has done nothing but win in his football career.
That's it.
And style points don't mean a dang thing.
Don't mean
what
a damn
matters
thing.
is winning football games. And Jalen plays his best football in those big moments on the largest stage. He plays his best football. So anybody, like, maybe just don't take into account what those takes mean. It's kind of worthless, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of worthless. Like, who cares? You don't like Jalen Hurts? Great. He's ours.
Great.
We'll take him. We win.
Exactly.
2 Super Bowls, 1 Super Bowl title, an MVP, and a blowout of a 16-1 Kansas City Chiefs team.
Blowout. My thing is like, hey, whatever argument you want to have, whoever your top 5 quarterbacks is, my answer is yes. I'm not going to convince you one way or the other. All I know is you take who you got, I'll take who I got, and I'll see you on Sunday. And it looks like my guy is always winning, because while you worried about it, we still shining that ring. So a lot of people,
and I tell you,
here,
within the walls of this NovaCare complex, nobody cares.
Exactly.
Nobody cared all year. Nobody cared about the lack of respect that the Eagles got. The Eagles won 16 of its last 17 games. 16 of the last 17 games. Yeah. Think about that. Think about how amazing that is. And by double-digit victories, like the average margin was healthy double digits. So that's just media stuff to me, Marcus. That's kind of the way the world is.
Yeah.
It's social media. It's hot takes. It's get attention. All we care about is win.
Got to get the clicks.
At the parade, seeing 1.5 million people so happy, that's what it's
beautiful,
all about.
brother.
You realize how sports brings everyone together, and it was just another incredible chapter in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, we took the best team in this particular little spot in time. And we could have, I mean, I didn't think about this until recently. We destroyed the Chiefs. And then on top of that, it was basically like a toss up of who you wanted as MVP.
Yeah,
It could have been a couple
Sweaty
guys
J.
on defense.
Yeah,
It could have been, but I think once Jalen threw that dagger, that was a wrap, and rightfully so. But just to be in that situation where we were that good.
It was amazing. I remember at halftime, like not, the other Super Bowls that I've been to, 2004, 2017, 2022, they were all gut wrenching, like, oh God, I'm going to throw up kind of games. This one at halftime, I was like eating 2 cheeseburgers, having a drink, having a cola, like relax, like enjoying Kendrick Lamar. Like it was amazing. Still on guard a little bit because in 2022, Kansas City came back from 10. But once the Chiefs came down the field, had the ball first, and didn't score, I was like, this game's over. And so it was incredible. What a team. Clearly one of the best teams ever in Eagles history. Agreed. And I would argue one of the best teams in modern Super Bowl history as well, because that was a number 1 ranked defense. That was the best running back and the best season a running back has ever had. It's a team that had a great offensive line, won the line of scrimmage, skill position. I mean, had everything. Coaches, position coaches, everything. This team had everything. What a just remarkable season.
How did you feel in 2017 compared to this year?
Yeah, 2017 was like a stunning, shocking, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't give Tom Brady one more play. We won the game.
Yeah.
This is incredible. We've lived long enough to have the Eagles win a Super Bowl. The win here was, this is a party. This is a celebration. Look at the way we dismantled the big, bad Kansas City Chiefs, who only a few days earlier were talking about three-peating and working with Pat Riley to gain the rights to that trademark. So this one was they're both amazing. It's kind of like you have 2 children, right, Marcus? Do you love your first child more than your second child? No. Do you love your second child more than your first child? No. You love them both. They're just different, and you appreciate them both so much, and you never ever take it for granted. And I just embrace every minute. I'm still riding a high. I mean, I'm getting ready for what we got coming up, free agency. I know there's going to be a lot of expectations and fun, and I'm sure the Eagles are going to be out there and be aggressive, but I'm still basking in the moment, feeling the chills of winning the Super Bowl, because I was here long enough that we weren't that kind of team.
Yeah, because I remember in 2017, the only thing I can kind of relate it to was, like, I remember when Steve Young won the first Super Bowl, and that scene where they took the monkey off his back. That's what I felt like in 2017. Like, I'm tired of all teasing us. Everybody got rings, and then you showed a picture of the empty trophy case and hearing all of that stuff, man. And then this time was like almost like elation and rage, because I was so hyped to look at people and say, I told you so. I told you Jalen Hurts was that dude. I told you he was good enough. And hearing all of that rhetoric about what he couldn't do all year, and just to see him and the Eagles utterly dismantle the Goliath of the NFL, man, that was like almost beating up the bully in your first fight. You know what I mean? That's the feeling I got. And it's like, I don't want to hear you guys no more.
Yeah, the Eagles are no longer considered by the haters one-hit wonders, right? It's very legitimate. And hey, great team accomplishment. And I'll never forget the feeling and the experience of working together as an organization, how important the fans are in the whole process. We won 3 straight games at home, which was not easy to do. We played 21 games last year. That's an amazing number of games. And
went overseas.
Started, Brazil to Bourbon Street to Broad Street to the Ben Franklin Parkway. It just,
I like that.
Man, it just doesn't. It will never get old. Every chance I get, I will watch the playoff games. I've watched all of them many times since February 9th, and the parade. Everybody who mentions it to me, I am appreciative of their compliments. It was a thrill. I grew up an Eagles fan, Marcus. Been working here a long time, working my way up in the organization, and to do those events, like, what an incredible experience, and really proud to have done that.
Yeah, man. And the one thing that I like to see is, man, already we were talking earlier. It's like already we back into it, back to business. Howie's in his bag already and making things happen. Um, we are still taking the attention from the NFL with the moves we're doing. Everybody saw what happened with Saquon. Everybody's looking as like, I had somebody text me right before we went on. Y'all think y'all gonna get Myles Garrett? I'm like, I don't know. But I know Howie is making moves. I don't know if you saw the thing. Did you see the graphics with Saquon and Jalen Hurts on the cover of Madden? Did you see that? So that's out in the ethos now. But I made one. They should put Howie Roseman on the cover of Chess Master, that video game, because the stuff that dude is doing, man, everybody else playing checkers. Howie is 2 and 3 moves ahead, and this is when it starts. And this is when you see and appreciate how much homework Howie is doing.
Yeah, and you know it. Like nobody here feels that way because you don't get too caught up in yourself, and you don't believe the hype. And the truth is that as quickly as things are great, look, Howie was the king of Philly in 2018, right? We won the Super Bowl. 2020, they were booing him. So you don't ever get too ahead of yourself in the game, and it can humble you very, very quickly. And I think everybody recognizes that here. It will be very difficult to repeat. There's a reason there's been so few repeat winners of Super Bowls in the NFL.
Yeah.
Long, long road to go. Ladder is very high. You go step by step. You don't cut the detail. You don't cut the corners. And, you just do the best job you can and try to be as thorough as possible.
That's it, man. That's all you can do. And I think we're, 2 steps ahead of everybody else. And I think it's going to be a great offseason. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm already looking forward to Alumni Day. Back helping practice.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice.
Yeah, man.
It'll be great. It's always great to see everybody. And by the way, let me just say this. Everybody here recognizes what men like you, women like some executives we have, some people in here, every staff member, every player, every coach, everybody who's ever been here, who's helped build the Eagles organization into what it is. It's not like the Eagles just showed up one day and won a Super Bowl. It has taken a long time to build this organization. Yeah, a lot of work. You know what it's like. Man. Yeah, man. So what do you want to see? I want to ask you a question. What do you want? What is on your wish list for the offseason?
Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton. Although I have a theory, and this is just me, based on his experience, and this is just me, again, from the outside looking in my opinion, based on his experience in New York, I would like to think that Mekhi Becton, he will have the opportunity to get the bag somewhere else. But I think because of said experience, Mekhi Becton is going to choose culture over the bag, because I think being around Jeff Stoutland and Stoutland University got the best out of him, and he understands that because he's seen the other side, even though he was the top pick. So I think we keep Becton. Those are my main 2 things, man. Zach Bond, he earned it. Mekhi Becton, somebody that is as large as Lane Johnson, is playing guard and doing it well.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, Howie's got a plate full of decisions to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of good talent out there. We'll see what happens. I mean, certainly both of those players, great players. Josh Sweat, great player. Milton Williams, great player. And we'll see. I mean, I always believe the offensive line, Stout will never leave himself shorthanded. So we will have a really strong offensive line, whatever happens. And look, I don't know, because I mean, Howie, I don't ever put anything past Howie. It could go in a million different directions. Howie will make things happen, and we'll put this roster back in place, and the Eagles will be competitive in 2025, and we'll see what happens, man. It starts next. We're a week away.
Damn, is it? Yeah, because the end of the beginning of the free agency is next week, right?
Next Monday, Thursday? You can start working out deals with
anti-tampering stuff.
with certified agents, and then Wednesday teams can start announcing them.
Yeah, I think we are in a good situation, and I never saw this happening, especially everything that happened in 23. Vic Fangio in my opinion, is pretty much on equal ground with Jeff Stoutland. I believe that I don't care who you bring in. Jeff Stoutland can make that person better. Big fan.
Zach Bond's a great example. Zach Bond's a great example. The way the rookies came along, great example. Reed Blankenship has grown into a really strong safety. With the way the Eagles, Jacoby Dean goes down, Oren Burke steps in and plays really well. I think it's Vic, and I think the Eagles did a really great job upgrading the position coaches, which,
Absolutely.
as you know, are so important to the development of players. This coaching staff is outstanding. Some changes, of course, on the offensive side, but the Eagles always plan for the next step, understanding that they are going to lose people, they're going to lose coaches, they're going to lose players. So
Right.
you got to have you have to have a succession plan.
Right. And on speaking with the coaches, man, the one thing that I've always liked about Sirianni, and people don't give him enough credit for this because they don't understand how difficult it is to get everybody in that locker room facing the same direction. Like, you don't deal with people, you deal with personality. And Sirianni's become a master of it.
Yeah, it's hard. He's built a great culture. He's inclusive. It is hard to have all those egos and all those backgrounds and all those people who want to have their individual success. He has been able to make this team understand that team success comes first,
right,
and then individual success comes later. And as I said at the parade, you cannot be great without the greatness of others. And that if you connect, compete, perform with a high IQ, are accountable for everything that you do, and that you have fundamentals on a daily basis and get just a little bit better, you see what can happen. And that's the truth. And that's the truth in any walk of life, Marcus, any walk of life. And so Nick's been a master of setting the culture.
He's been phenomenal, man. And I tell you what did it for me was at the end of last season, after that horrible Tampa Bay loss, I was like, are they going to let him go? I hope not. But if they do, I understand. But when I saw Fletcher Cox addressing the team and he talked about Sirianni, the first thing I thought of was like, he didn't have to do that. That was his moment to address the team. That was all about him. And he made the choice to talk about Sirianni and the things that he did. And I was like, nope. I was like, that dude got something. And everybody's missing it. Everybody's missing it. Sirianni has something special. Every coach you're not trying to run through the wall for. Sirianni has got that family first attitude that is very infectious. Saquon said it himself. Couldn't stand the guy when I wasn't here. Then you get in his presence and now you understand. You know what I mean? So just another given.
I think people who are outside of Philly, people who are not Eagles fans, I don't think they like Nick very much. I mean, and I get it. But even this goes back to kind of the hot takes here, like why we shouldn't care. Robert Saleh gets fired in New York, and all of a sudden, who's next on the hot seat? Oh my gosh, the Eagles are 2-2. It's Nick Sirianni. And what did this team do? 16 wins in the next 17 games. Phenomenal.
Exactly. How many other of those great coaches would love his record? Would love his trips to the Super Bowl? So,
all of them.
Like, y'all got to stop playing with me, man.
That's why I'm so used to not even. I don't listen to sports talk. I don't really pay attention to the outside world. So, I think that's kind of the way most people are here. We know what we have here, and people are entitled to their opinions, and that's the way the sports media business is. Give me the hot takes. Give me the controversy. That's just not the way we work in here.
Yep. Last thing, and I'm gonna let you get up out of here, brother.
Okay.
What are, if any, have you had an opportunity to meet Leffler?
Have not. The coaches were away. They went to the combine. I think some of them are off this week, and they will come back and get ready for the draft and for free agency and start doing all their evaluations for the draft. So I know he's a Temple guy. I'm a Temple guy. I look forward to meeting him. And I know he's done great things in his coaching career. Bowling Green, great success story.
Yeah. Ohio boy. There you go.
Yep. And so I'm looking forward to that. And, it's a really, really, really important job. And I think he'll connect well with Jalen. And I'm excited to see what he does. It's going to be a nice, fresh pair of eyes and ideas, and along with what they've had success with offensively, and the way they've built this thing. And I mean, the Eagles have all the pieces in place to have more success. And starts up front, got some answers. Got to get, last year they lose Jason Kelsey. Everybody's going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Who's going to be our right guard?
He don't get enough credit, man. Cam Jurgens came in, and we didn't miss Jason Kelsey at all. And
No.
I never thought I was going to say that.
Yeah. And that's not to take anything away from Jason.
No,
it's just,
none at all.
It's just that's you have a plan of succession, and it worked out for the Eagles.
Yeah. You know what? Props to Kelsey, because Kelsey found him, right? He called his shot.
Well, he didn't find him, but he looked at him and he helped the Eagles.
Right.
They knew what they were going to. I was in the room with Stout the night that they drafted Cam, and I went back and watched some film with him, and he could not have been more excited. And Cam is a great football player, and his toughness, the way he and Landon sucked it up in the playoffs, the versatility they displayed, remarkable, and kind of the epitome of what this football team is all about.
Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. Can't wait till we get it started, man. Listen, man, we've been rocking and rolling for about a little over 35 minutes, man. I appreciate your time, brother. I know you're busy.
My pleasure. Always good to see you, my man.
You same to you, man. Can't wait to get back to another alumni day, another practice, man. We're gonna keep doing it big.
Let's do it.
Let's rinse and repeat, bro.
Legend, Marcus Thomas. Marcus, you're the man.
Dave,
I appreciate you having me on.
Thank
you so much.
Man.
Thank you.
You got it, Dave. Thank you.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. All right, folks. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit. We're gonna talk about some things, man. But that was my guy, Dave Spadaro. Some people call him Spads, some people call him Spuds. I just call him Dave, man. But listen, every time that I've been around Dave, I see him at alumni functions all the time. Same type of dude, same type of energy. Always good to you. Always good to see him. Dave's a good dude, man. Good representation for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Glad he could come on. I appreciate his time. And we always have a good time, man. So big shout out to Dave Spadaro, man. I wish I could bring up that picture. I saw a picture of him. I don't know if I've got it. It was a picture of him at the parade. Like he was at the podium and somebody took a shot dead center, and all you saw was the back and the bald head and then the crowd of Philly. And I don't know where that picture is, but that was a dope shot. And I want to find it. I want to show that to you. Is this it? Nah, that's not it. Daggone it. Yo, this is the one I put earlier. That should be Howie's face. He should be the cover athlete for Chessmaster, 6,000 or whatever. What are they at now? 9,000 or whatever. But Howie Roseman should be the cover man for that game. Nah, I don't have it. Oh, there it is. There it is. That shot right there. That is a dope shot. That is a dope shot. So, but yeah, man, Dave was good. Good people, man. But if you were hiding under a rock, you missed all the good news. Saquon Barkley getting a 2-year extension. Then they released Slay and Bradbury. And you know what? I just posted something right before I got online. I was like, James Bradbury deserves his ring. I said what I said. You know what I mean? James Bradbury, shout out to him. James Bradbury was solid when we went to the Super Bowl in 22. And then, last year, dealing with injuries and whatnot, and just kind of fell off a little bit, but never mouthed off, just did what he was asked to do. And then this year, he was in the locker room helping out the young fellas, man. And I heard that numerous times. So shout out to James Bradbury. You had a good run here. Appreciate all your work, and you deserve that ring, bro. Don't let nobody ever tell you different. Saquon Barkley, once again, man, that's Howie moving the queen on the board, man, in any different direction, man, because you got that. And basically what he did, you get that extension for Saquon Barkley, and you drop the cap hit to $6 million. It was 12 when it came to Saquon. Now he's dropped all the way down to what, 6.8 million? So he just saved, I don't know what, $5-6 million in the cap. Another master stroke, man. Another chess move by Howie Roseman, man. So getting it done. He did the same thing, I believe, with AJ Brown. Signed him to an extension early, so it lowers the cap hit. They get a little bit extra money because Saquon's going to get that money in the signing bonus. So the salary won't hit you as hard. Now he's making room for everything to come. So because you still got to do Zach Bond, you still got to try to do Mekhi Becton, and you still got to try to get Myles Garrett, man. So once again, Howie Roseman is doing Howie Roseman things. And from everybody on the outside that's really not paying attention, looks like, how they going to give him all of this money and stuff. It's like, hey, man, he playing 3D chess. What's the game they used to play on Star Trek? Was that 4D chess, 4-level chess? Howie Roseman, man, he getting it done, bro. Getting it done. I do want to answer some of your questions, man. Let me see. Eagle Stewart. Appreciate everything. Appreciate my mom being in here. Sirianni is brash, boastful, and rubs everyone outside of Philly the wrong way. He's great for Philly. Good coaching, though. Yo, Jay, that's all that matters is the coaching. I would imagine he does some of that on purpose, just like a manager. All of the managers back in the day in baseball, they used to get into arguments with the umps. All that does is take the eyes off of the players so the players can relax a little bit. And he brings the pressure on him, so it takes it off of AJ or, Jalen or whatever the situation is. So I think that's a calculated move some situations. And I think some situations that's just his personality, man. But I'm not going to get mad at the coach for being himself, because the last thing you want in the locker room is somebody that's fake. We learned our lesson with Chip Kelly. The last thing you want in the locker room is somebody that's fake. One of the things I wanted to get into with Dave, but just by the way he answered some previous questions, and this is what I try to tell people on the outside looking in. My boy J to the D, that's my teammate from Jason Dunn from Eastern Kentucky, played here in Philly for 4 years, played in Kansas City for 8. The locker room is a different beast, and we don't worry about things in the locker room. We don't hear a lot of the stuff on sports talk radio and stuff like that, the way people think we do. And one of the things I elected not to get into this conversation, because it would have been useless with Dave, because they just don't partake in it like we do. We on the outside looking in now. But I talk about, this guy named Sources. Everybody's got sources and all of that type of stuff. And when it comes to being sincere, you got to have your sincerity, and you got to keep it a buck when you in the locker room. So when people talk about sources and, they getting bits of information, and Stephen A. Smith has sources, and Adam Schefter has sources, and Ian Rappaport, and all of these people have sources. But if anybody in that locker room ever found out that somebody in the locker room was being a snitch, there would be problems. The Brandon Graham situation was a little bit different, because Brandon Graham wasn't trying to sneak. He said what he said. He had his face and his name, and he said it live on the air. So he wasn't trying to sneak around and give out information. He said what he said. Turns out it was true. He was just trying to make things right. So I understand that. I don't necessarily agree with how he did it, but I do understand what he did. And he wasn't lying. But if you think that there's somebody in a locker room that's sneaking around and feeding the press information, that dude would get plastered. He would get obliterated in the locker room. That's one of them situations where the team captains would come together and be like, yo, we got to get him out of here. And the word would go around the league, and that's how you get blackballed. So I'm saying that to say, the guys in the locker room are hyper-focused and don't get into a lot of the stuff that you think that they see here in social media and stuff like that. Even as much as the players are on social media, a lot of that stuff they don't pick up on, man. They don't pick up on. Appreciate you, Jay. Yeah, Kelsey Kelsey chose Jurgens for a reason. Yeah, Stoutland is Hall of Fame in my book. Absolutely. 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 Thoughts about Clint Hurts' job he did with the DL. I think the biggest thing that Clint Hurts contributed this season was he kept Jalen Carter focused. Because you can tell he got a mean streak about him. He can be a hothead and he can get out of control. Clint Hurt kept that under wraps and kept it under wraps long enough for Jalen Carter to realize how good he was. For him to realize he does his best work when he's on the field, not getting penalties, not getting in arguments, not jaw-jacking with somebody, just to keep somebody like that focused. Because you talk about a star player, many times he's the best person on the field, and trying to keep him hyper-focused to the task at hand. So I think that was Clint Hurts' best contribution to the team this year, man. Yeah, what's up, Carlos? I won't be surprised if Howie gets Cam, Becton, and Bond signed this week. Yeah, man, I'm big on Becton, man, because Becton, our offense got it done this year. And I don't want to see anything on that offensive line change if it doesn't have to change. And what I was saying with Dave was the way that Mekhi Becton was treated with the Jets, and just how emotional and how empathetic he was to everything that was going wrong, and like everything was an emotional response with him. We made it. We made it to we won the conference, and he's in tears. You know what I mean? So, for my opinion, for somebody like Becton, his environment has a direct result on how he performs. And he's in a good environment, and I don't think he wants to leave. So I think that leaves the kind of like the ball in Howie's court to make it right. Yes, he could go get a bag somewhere else, but I don't think he wants to go anywhere else, because that means he's got to learn the new people, learn the new system, learn the new coaches. And he might be right back in that same spot that he was with the Jets, which is not where he wants to be. So I think he's comfortable here, and just this type of environment helps his game, and I think he wants to keep that around. So I think Becton is going to be back with us. So hold on, I'm sending the thank you text to Dave. Yeah. So yeah, man, Bond. Me and Tone talked about this when we first signed Bond, and I remember having a conversation with Tone. I went and looked at the tape of Bond. I went and watched film on Bond, and I remember saying, "We got a good one," because he was lost in the sauce down in New Orleans. He was just stuck behind. He was stuck behind the contracts. He was a victim of the numbers game. So you'll hear me say this a lot. You got to learn how to play the game, but the game ain't fair. The business of the NFL and any other professional squad, you got guys that are making big salaries that are not bad players. Even though you might have somebody better, you got to play because you paying for it. So unless they're just dog shit horrible, you got to put them on the field. And I think Bond just got lost in the sauce. And when he finally got his opportunity to show what he had, that's exactly what he did. And props to Vic Fangio for recognizing it, because it could have been the same situation. Do we have the same success if we would have kept Devin White? That's the question. Zach Bond was phenomenal. Could Devin White have done that? That's the question you should be asking. My answer would be no. Devin White would have been good. I don't think he would have been that good. Zach Bond was otherworldly. He knew what he had to do. He played within himself, wasn't trying to be a hero. All he did was be where he was supposed to be, got to the ball, made tackles. When the ball was in his hands, when he had the opportunity for a turnover or a tackle, he made the turnover, he made the tackle. That's all you need from your defense. And then if you want to go back and look at what the Eagles defense did as a whole, look at the macro. How many interceptions did we drop last season? How many did we drop? The Kobe Dean drops one against Green Bay. Would have been a pick six. Slay's dropped two. CJ Gardner-Johnson's dropped two. Quinion dropped three. Just imagine if you take care of Isaiah Rodgers dropped two. So all of those opportunities for our defense to get their hands on the ball. So we had plenty of opportunities to be even better. And our defense is just killing it, man. Killing it. And I think it's going to be just as good next year. Just as good next year, man. So we are reloading. That's what we doing. We ain't rebuilding. We got to reload. And that's where you want to be, man. That's the perfect spot where you want to be. And listen, Howie is lighting the fuse, man. Howie is lighting the fuse. Yeah, Howie freeing up money. That's it right there in a nutshell. Next part of it is going to be wheeling and dealing to get back up and getting picks. Do you think Howie's going to stay at 32? He's either going to get some stuff together to move up in the top 20, or he's going to find somebody to take that last first round pick so they can get a shot, get their guy in the first round, and he's going to get 3 or 4 picks because of that. And in the second, third, and fourth rounds, he's going to go crazy. He's going to go crazy. And that's the way you do business, man. That's the way you do business. Oh, we good, man. Hurts and Cam. I think Hurts is not a problem. We good for that. And let's not forget, restructuring a deal is not off the table for a lot of. What happens if Jalen Hurts restructures? That option is on the table for everybody. Everybody. So there are a lot of moving parts right now. And like I said, Howie is the best at what he's doing. He knows what's going on. He knows what to do. He knows what not to do. So I have supreme confidence in Howie Roseman. I have supreme confidence that he's going to make the right move, make the right trade, all of that type of stuff. For one, I was sad to see Slay go, but I understand, and the possibility of Slay coming back is not off the table. This is what Howie did, and this is a salute. This is basically Howie Roseman giving the salute to Slay. I'm going to release you early so you can go test the market, and if you still got enough where some team is willing to give you a good bag, you can make your last contract a good one. You can make your last NFL contract, because remember, Slay said this will probably be his last year next year. 2025 will probably be his last year. He said that. So Howie basically said, hey, man, go get what you worth for your last year. And if it don't work out, if we can get you at a reasonable rate, we'll bring you back. That possibility exists. What happens if nobody wants to give Slay whatever it is he's looking for? I don't know what number he's looking for. What happens if nobody comes to the table with something good enough? Why wouldn't he want to come back? Why wouldn't he? He would be the perfect backup. So look at the situation that James Bradbury did. And I'll say it again. James Bradbury deserves his ring. I said what I said. It's something to be said when you got vets in the locker room schooling these young fellas. That's why Coop was so good. That's why Quinyon was so good. And then on the flip side of that, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean going up against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith every day. Yeah, they better be good. You getting tested by the best every day. And it pays dividends. It pays dividends. When you practice with the best, some of that's got to rub off on you, man. Some of it's going to rub off on you. The Eagles find themselves in a very good situation and not by luck. Not by luck. So, how we would trade Bryce Huff? Yeah, I think Bryce Huff is on the trade blocks. He'll be trade bait. And listen, me personally, I don't think Bryce Huff was above. I don't think he was a wasted signing. I think before he hurt his wrist, I think he was starting to pay dividends. But when you got Jalen Hunt in the building, paying him what they paying him, and the production you was getting from him, the writing was on the wall. And listen, Bryce Huff ain't no scrub. To me, Bryce Huff is in the same situation that Hassan Reddick was when we got him. Stop trying to make him do what he doesn't do. He rushes the passer. Let him rush the passer. Let him do what he does best. When we started doing that, he started yielding results. The Slay thing was, so here's, I explained this the other day. So you got to go back a little bit. So Slay, you might be thinking of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, not Slay. Because this all ties together. Because I'm not ashamed to say, I wanted them to keep Hassan Reddick. For the simple fact that, hey, keep your homeboys at home. And he earned it. I would have loved to see Hassan Reddick with Vic Fangio. Would have loved to see it. Nolan Smith on one side and Hassan Reddick on the other. Oh, my God. And then Josh Sweat doing what he doing. Milt Williams doing what he doing. Jalen Carter doing what he doing. Are you kidding me? But woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't do nothing but rhyme. But Slay was out of here. Don't forget that. Slay was going to sign with Baltimore, with the Ravens. And Big Dom talked him out of it. He told that story. But what happened with Slay was out of here. C.J. Gardner-Johnson tested the market. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had led the league. He was tied for the lead in interceptions that year. So guess what? He deserved his bag and he wanted to test the market. He overshot his market. But I don't begrudge GJ for testing it. Find out what your value was. He just overshot the market a little bit. And then when Howie found out however much CJ Gardner-Johnson was asking, Howie was like, nope. And re-signed Slay. Slay was sending out tweets talking about, hey, it's been real. His wife was sending out tweets saying how good of a time she had in Philly. They were up out of here. They was packing the house. And Slay tells the story. I'm not making this up. Slay tells the story. You can look it up and find it. Big Dom called him and convinced him to stay, or he would have signed with Baltimore. So that was on CJ Gardner-Johnson. He goes to Detroit. And then he caught some criticism. He caught some flack because what he signed for with Detroit, he probably could have got that here. But I think he was asking for the moon. And he said it in his press conference when he came back. He was in his feelings about it. CJ said that. So it was a lot of ego involved. But at the end of the day, CJ Gardner-Johnson went out and tested his market. He wanted to find out what his value was. And that's exactly what he did. I don't blame him for that. He just overshot it a little bit. And Howie wasn't budging. And you still had Slay in the building. So they get Slay, sign him up, and then 23 happens and it ends the way it ends, and we get CJ coming back. Lions end their season like they did. They don't get to the Super Bowl, and they coming back. This year, the Lions end their season the way it did. They get blasted by the Commanders, and they don't make it to the Super Bowl. But CJ's back on our squad. And I said this the other day. Take these off. Never thought I would see this happen. Never thought I would see this happen. Because to me, CJ is not that type of dude. But when he got kicked out of that Washington game, something clicked. And when he came back, he understood his value to this team. And that's when he became a leader on that defense. He was still aggressive. He still played, and he still did his thing. But for me, my eyes told me after that game where he got kicked out, something snapped. And he became a leader on that defense. So sometimes things happen the way they happen for a reason. So no, I haven't been asked to work for the team. That would be nice. Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. So yeah, bombard the Eagles media team and tell them to bring me in. Yeah, man. Listen, the Eagles culture, man. I said this when Miles Sanders left. Do you want the bag or do you want the culture? Do you want to win or do you want the money? Most people are going to pick the money, and I ain't begrudging nobody for that. Make your paper. But more and more, depending on where you are in your career, what you've experienced, more and more people are choosing the culture over the bag. Because if you got the right team, as Jeffrey Lurie has been showing you, if you do right by the team is going to do right by you. The team is going to do right by you. They are bending over backwards to make sure they show the league we take care of the players that take care of us. That's what they're doing with AJ and Jalen and Saquon. That's exactly what they're doing. Josh Sweat got his money last year. Now Josh Sweat is in the perfect situation. I see you, Carl Patetti. Glad you got in here, bro. Glad you figured it out. Appreciate you, brother. Josh Sweat is in the perfect situation. Perfect. Because Josh Sweat probably could have got a bag last year, but chose to stay. The Eagles offered him enough to make him want to stay. He has a phenomenal year. He's probably going to sign a free agent somewhere else. And he got his ring. He is in the perfect situation. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, got a ring, and he about to get his payday. That's what I was hoping would happen with Hassan Reddick. But unfortunately, Hassan Reddick was on the other side of 30. Now, you could say it's the same thing again with Myles Garrett. But Myles Garrett is a much more dominant player than Hassan Reddick was. And that's saying a lot because Hassan Reddick was doing damage. Hassan Reddick was that dude. And again, I wanted him to stay. Keep your homeboys at home. He from Camden. This is his home. I was like, man, you want to see him get it done. But it didn't work out that way. So if we get Myles Garrett, if Howie has to wheel and deal, move some things around to make that happen. So be it. We might have to give up some. I saw some people mention like Sidney Brown or maybe Eli Ricks or Keely Ringo. I was like, man, do not get rid of Keely Ringo. Keely Ringo is the dog in that secondary. And like Zach Bond, he is waiting for his opportunity to show you what he's about. That's just my opinion. I like what I've seen with the young fella. I like Eli Ricks too. Don't get it twisted. But for whatever reason, Keely Ringo is speaking to me. That kid is faster than people realize. He's physical, and he's got a nose for the ball. And the only way to get better is to get him reps. Same thing with Cooper DeJean. When the more reps Cooper DeJean got, he got it. The more reps Reed Blankenship was getting his rookie year, the longer he was in there, the quicker he picked it up. And you can't say that about everybody, especially some of these high draft pick rookies. It don't manifest the same with everybody. And that goes back to Howie doing his damn homework. So, yeah, I think, or if they choose Isaiah Rodgers. Now, Isaiah Rodgers had his issues, but think about it like this. Every time he was struggling, he was coming off the bench. And the game that he started and had a week's worth of practice wasn't as bad. So I like Keely Ringo because he's a younger player, but Isaiah Rodgers ain't no slouch either. So I can go either way with that. And I think Isaiah Rodgers will be a much better player if he's that dude from day one. It's very difficult to just hop on the field cold and you got to cover. You asking for trouble. You asking for trouble. And you know what? Everybody we played, everybody did the right thing. They saw when Isaiah Rodgers came in the game. They knew somebody was out and he was in the field on the field cold. Go right at him, attack him. That's what everybody did, attack them. So I ain't mad at him for that. Not mad at him for that. So we in a good spot, man. I'm more than happy where we are right now. And I want to see how this thing plays out. I just want to make sure we get Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton handled. That's what I want. That's what I want. So right now I'm going to drop the link. So if anybody wants to come over, come on the air, and you got any thoughts, got any questions, got any comments, you want to mention something about Dave Spadaro, let me know. I'm dropping the link now. So you don't have to be on camera. You can have the audio on and we'll be able to hear you if you don't want to be on camera. But yeah, so I'm just dropping the link. So I'll see you in the backstage and I'll bring you on and just make your comments and we'll go from there. So hey Pat, that's what I'm talking about. That's reps. That's reps. The longer you play in real games, the better that's going to get. So listen, if we can deal with Avonte Maddox, we can deal with Keely Ringo. And I think Keely Ringo is better than Avonte Maddox. Physically, Avonte's played a lot longer, so you got that experience factor. But even as much angst as you get when Maddox comes in the game, he made plays when he had to make plays. So again, I just want to see him get more reps. I compare that. Look at the year before. Well, yeah, his rookie year was the same with Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith was killing them in practice. Nolan Smith was the out-and-out leader of that rookie class. What he was doing on the field was ridiculous, but it just didn't. That year, it didn't manifest on the field during the regular season. So, it just takes a year to develop, man. These draft picks, they're not like pancake mix, man. You can't just add water and stir. It takes some developing. And even with Nolan Smith, he accelerated. He really stepped in his own this year, man, and did the damn thing. Jalen Hunt, shout out to the guys doing things from small schools. Jalen Hunt stepped in again, paying dividends. And that's what you want from your draft picks or your undrafted free agents. That's what you want for them. You want them to come in there and make a good impression and make an impact. And all of our draft picks, Will Shipley, you name it, everybody's coming in making a contribution. And that's exactly what you want. Yeah. You'll never see nobody like BG again. Nobody. Because nobody's not going to, too impatient. In this day and age, in this social media, I need you to be an all-pro now. Nobody's going to wait that long for a defensive end. Nobody. Like, look at the example that everybody likes to use is Mike Mamula, because they consider him a bust because he was a first-round pick and all that. And I was like, if you look at Mike Mamula's stats, he was not a bust. Not far from it. Far from it. But it's because he didn't meet everybody's expectations. The first thing they want to throw out is a bust. And it's like, hell no, he wasn't a bust. So you got to let people develop. Now, obviously, there's a timeline, and you want some return on your investment. But for whatever reason, Brandon Graham was just one of those ones. Because, I mean, look at BG, though. It's hard not to like him. You know what I'm saying? So he had the gift of personality, and it's that's all I can say. It's hard not to like him. So you're rooting for that person. His leash, he has that God-given aura. You want to be around that person. And I think that was BG's benefit. Not to mention that he was a great player too. Yeah, that's the way it is. You don't want to rush somebody's development, but that's what happens. That's why you think it's so hard to get a good quarterback these days. Because they get thrust into the fire. I look at Justin Fields and I'm like, I don't know what the hell they did to Justin Fields in Chicago. They had that poor boy running for his life, because I was like, the kid that I saw at Ohio State that stood in the pocket, that didn't run. Justin Fields was not a running quarterback at Ohio State. He was a pocket quarterback. And he got to Chicago and was running for his life. So it's just amazing what and I keep saying this, man, you got to be at the right place at the right time with the right people. The example I like to use now, Jaden Daniels in Washington is at the right place with the right coaches at the right time. Kingsbury and all of them around him, that kid is in the perfect scenario. Jalen Hurts was in the perfect scenario with Shane Steichen. And at least we got enough of Shane Steichen to get the best out of Jalen Hurts. And he's been growing ever since then, to the point where he is a Super Bowl MVP and a Super Bowl champion when nobody else thought he could do it. So you got to be able to let people develop, because what happens if you don't cook the food all the way? All you're going to do is make yourself sick. What's up, Doughboy? As an Eagles fan, I pray Howie re-sign Vaughn Becton before Monday and sign Big Play Slay on a 1-year deal so he can retire as an Eagle. You know what? Let me be honest with you. It doesn't matter what Slay does. If Slay gets a bag somewhere else, he'll play somewhere else, make that money. He'll sign a 1-day contract with the Eagles, and he'll retire as an Eagle. They'll make that happen. They're going to make that happen for sure, 100%. What up, William? Appreciate you, bro. So we in a good spot, man. Like, it feels good to be in this spot. Everything is working, and it's not just like falling in our favor. You got stuff going on behind the scenes, and we working for it. You feel me? We getting it in. We working for it. Howie Roseman is doing deals, making stuff happen. He's got his hands to the plow. And you, like, don't forget we got we lost 2 weeks because of the Super Bowl hangover, man. You had to go all the way to the nth degree to the final game. Then you had the 2 weeks after that to get ready for the parade and all of that type of stuff. Then when the parade happens, now you got to get back to business. Got to get back to business. Thank you for the super chat, William. I appreciate you, bro. So everybody's been about their business. We lose time because we going through the celebration and the hangover of the Super Bowl. Then you got to sober up and get right back to business. And Howie is a master at that. He is a master. So it's a good time to be an Eagles fan. You know, I saw the bandwagoner, Skip Bayless trying to put on the Eagles uniform. I was like, nah, bro, nah. And once I get done here, I got to put together a video going at Colin Cowherd for the dumb shit that he said about A.J. Brown. Like, man, Cowherd, stay out in California and stay out of grown folks' business, please. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, so stop acting like you do. So, yeah, I'll deal with that in a minute. What do I want to address in the draft? It depends, man. You would think that we're probably going to get a tight end because I don't know what's going to happen with Dallas Goedert. So probably a tight end, but you're not going to take a tight end at 32. That's why I think. So let me go ahead and say this. What I think Howie's going to do is he's going to trade down unless something happens and there's somebody up there that we have to get. But what I think he's going to do is he's going to trade that 32 pick for one of these teams desperate to get in the first round to get their guy, and we're going to get 2, possibly 3 draft picks from it. And from that point, that's when it starts. That's when it starts. Because we might not see the whole Myles Garrett thing until draft day. What happens if somebody's putting pieces together for Myles Garrett? And part of this is, you know, I mean, Howie Roseman putting things into the mix that just don't exist right now. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. What's up, 316? Appreciate you, bro. So I think a tight end, they'll probably get another linebacker late rounds because you don't know what's going to happen with Nakobe Dean. And like, I want to see, y'all know Nakobe Dean is my dude, man. I'm a big fan of Nakobe Dean. Got a chance to meet him personally when I went to his football camp, all that type of stuff. So I'm a big fan of Nakobe Dean. So I'm pulling for him, trying to get him. I'm efforting to get him on the show, by the way. Tight end, probably can do with another edge because we're probably going to get rid of either an edge or a D tackle because Milt Williams is gone and or Josh Sweat is probably gone too. So we're going to lose 1, possibly 2 of them. So we got to replenish that. And maybe a cornerback just to beef up the depth chart. So trading out 32, we can bank more picks. Yes, we can. Yeah, I'm with you. And that's Howie's MO. That's his MO. Because this is you know, the talk from now. This is when I'm listening to all of the media heads, and everybody's saying the same thing, that there's a lot of good players in drafts rounds 2, 3, and 4. And hold on, just got somebody dropped on the line. My man, my teammate, my brother, you know, I love him, from Eastern Kentucky, and former Philadelphia Eagle and Kansas City Chief, my dude, Jason Dunn. What's going on, brother?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
What's up, my brother? How's it going, man?
It's good.
Good, man. It's a wonderful conversation, man. It's good to see Dave.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah, Dave, a good dude. I ran into him at the parade, and like Dave, always good. Every time we have like alumni beats, we go to Chicken and Pizza, something like that. He always there, man. So I reached out to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I can come on." I was like, "Dude, let's get it done."
Yeah, yeah.
And then next week, I might as well announce this to everybody listening. Next week, next Thursday, let me verify that. Next Thursday, I'm gonna have Irvin Fryer.
Irv. Oh,
yeah. So
yes, sir. Yes,
trying to make moves, man. But what's going on, man? It's our first time reconnecting, man. After the game, after the big game, what's good?
Man, everything's everything, man. Still rocking the Chiefs concerns as well. So
yeah, I've been checking you out.
Yeah, so everybody kind of licking their wounds a little bit, but you know how it is, man. As players, you move forward. That's how it is. That's how it works. And so you get back to work, talking about the things that you should have done, where you should have gotten better. And I said, I was saying this on the show last night. I said, man, look, it's hard, man, when you get smacked in the mouth. It's tough. And so when you're sitting over there and you're licking your wounds, people get lost. And I'm like, the thing is, hey, this process now, going through the combine and trying to get guys free agent and who you're going to get into guys moving. This is the process. This is the process, man. Y'all got some decisions to make, but y'all made one great one. I tell you that, man.
Yeah.
Getting Saquon signed for 2 years.
Yeah.
That was masterful. That was
That's
masterful.
Howie Roseman, man. That's Howie Roseman playing chess, bro. He dropped Saquon's cap hit to 6.8 million. It was like 13.
Yeah,
see.
The wonders with it, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Plus we got a bump up in also too with the cap as well.
Yeah,
so signed that deal, so that helped out.
Did you see my tweet in the background? That's that's Howie Roseman. He gonna be the cover athlete for Chessmaster.
I see that.
That's the type of work he doing, man. That's the type of
Howard,
work he doing, man. So
yeah, Howie's brilliant. He's brilliant, man. So now you said some good things out there, man. The Becton deal, moving him down to where he was from tackle to guard was brilliant. Doing that, as far as in the future, like you said, man, now it's just replacing and stacking everything else up. You just re-upping. The bond thing is, that I think that might be an issue. I know you was talking about that a little bit earlier.
Zach Bond.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think he's priority number one. Well, I take that back because clearly Saquon was, but that was more of a restructure. I think Zach Bond's going to be a free agent, and we're trying to prevent that. So if Zach Bond's agent is doing his due diligence, unless the deal blows him out of the water, he's trying to wait till next week, till Monday, to see what kind of offers he can field and to see if the Eagles are going to match. But that's another situation, man, where I'm looking at Zach Bond and I was like, bro, you know what it means to be lost in the sauce. So you are the man. You can do no wrong in Philadelphia. You'll never pay for another meal in your life here. And Vic Fangio got the best out of you. You got robbed out of Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I just think that, with Bond, with Becton, like I mentioned before, man, I think more and more people are getting more they're getting more into that culture over the bag, because how many people always tell that same story, man? I give it all up in a minute to win the Super Bowl. And all that. And I look at, like, I always think about like Randy Moss, dude. As good as dominating as Randy Moss was.
Yeah.
He couldn't get it done.
Right. Tried.
Dude, you were on an undefeated team with Tom Brady and you couldn't get it done. He didn't get a ring. So,
but like you said, it's tough because, like you said, once you get into a culture, a winning culture, I think I said this in your messages, it's hard to leave that.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been other places and you know what a winning culture isn't.
Yeah.
When guys are out there just, basically getting a paycheck.
Right.
And that's tough. It's hard to do, man, because you had to go in week after week, and get your head beat in, and this ain't going anywhere.
Right.
It's going anywhere. So when you get into a place that you have a chance and opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl each and every year, play deep into the playoffs, yeah, what does that cost you as far as your peace of mind? Especially like a city like Philadelphia that embraces all their players, right? And I mean, especially when you're winning. So,
especially when you're winning.
Absolutely. So Zach Bond, man, I think everybody has graciously put their arms around him, especially the type of thing he's done after Nakobe Dean got hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah.
You called
we
it.
Got what's his name? Oren Burke.
Yeah.
Oren Burke, just after what he went through with San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When your boy went up, popped his Achilles running on the field, he gets stuck in there, and they fall short. And then we get him down here after Nakobe goes down. He gets in there, plug and play. He had some struggles in the first couple games, but once he got his feet, man, he was 10 toes down and got the job done.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got his ring.
Yeah. Got his
That's
ring
all
on.
it's about.
That's right. But you said it. I mean, it's like once you get established in a couple of guys, once you get paid, maybe a couple of contracts, like it's really kind of a simple process of what you're thinking about. Where do I want to go?
Yeah.
You could go chase the bag. We had one that had left the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill. All the things, man. He's constantly trying to court the Chiefs back, over and over again. So, Miami hadn't really been that close since then. So
not even. And maybe somebody like Tyreek Hill, maybe the slow lane that was Kansas City was right for him, because you get in the fast lane in Miami, you ain't had nothing but problems.
Right.
You ain't had nothing but problems down there, man. And it's all on you. It's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, man.
But it's a lot of stuff going on, man. And it just seems like after the excitement of the Super Bowl, and it's the same way with the Chiefs, man. It's like, bam, you got to get right back to it. And it's like you forget everybody else been off.
Right.
They'd have 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks to prepare on what they doing next. And then we dealing with the hangover. Y'all dealing with the aftermath. But it's the same thing. You lost a lot of times, and then 2 weeks later, combine is here, free agency is here, so we right back into the mix, man.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, like you said, man, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And when you don't have that time, right? And guys have a chance to get their bodies ready.
Yeah.
Well, some dudes we know when they take off, they really take off.
Yeah.
It might be hard to get back in the swing of things. So
yeah.
I don't think y'all have an issue with none of the guys up there like that.
Nah, we had a couple guys that got lit in the parade, man. I don't know if you saw any of it. Nolan Smith. They had to put Nolan Smith in the cop car.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Oh, wow.
He was lit, bro. He was lit. They got worried about him because, like, you know how they get off the bus and they signing autographs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's over there talking to this family. Next thing you know, he picks this kid up and puts this kid on his shoulders. And I'm like, ooh, I hope he ain't been drinking that much. Because if he falls with that kid on his shoulder, because he was staggering, he was lit. So you could tell he had probably been drinking some brown liquor. But everything was cool with that. But later on in the parade, he lost his balance and went down in the heap. And cops picked him up, shoved him in the cop car. And I think they ended up taking him on down to the Art Museum, man. That joker was lit.
Wow.
So it was a couple of them like that. You saw the thing with Saquon.
Yep.
Where he picked the kid up. That was the ball boy. He picked the ball boy up, brought him on a bus. Stuff like that was cool, man. So
it was a good story. I was wondering, like, how did the kid not get invited to go? Did he come here late? Because I know sometimes, there's a lot of protocol what you have to do as far as security wise, what time you have to be there or whatnot, to just be a part of it.
I don't know, man. I don't know if he was down there with his family because he was right in front. Yeah. He was right at the beginning. And I don't know. Because I don't know. I know when I was there, he may not have had the opportunity to actually be in the parade. because when I got there, you had friends and family, and then you had VIPs, which was basically the alumni.
Yeah. Yeah.
So most of the friends and family there, I took pictures with Saquon's dad and all of that type of stuff. So I'm guessing he would have been in that group going down to the art museum. So he elected, I'm assuming he elected to stay with his friends and family. Maybe he lived down there or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he had the opportunity to be down at the art museum and do all of that type of stuff, but maybe he just didn't want to do it. So I don't know. But Saquon picked him up and got him on the bus anyway. So
yeah, it was good. No, it was good. It was good for that. It was good for that, man.
So it was fun, dude. It was fun, man. Who was down there? It was I got a list because I think you may have played with. Did you play with Victor? What's his last name? Nigerian name. There you go. Did you play with Victor?
Victor?
See him?
Biamiri.
No.
No.
Okay.
I didn't play with him.
Trying to think. William Fuller was there. I played with Fuller.
Yeah, I played with William Fuller.
What about Boots? John Booty?
No. Didn't play with Boots.
Luther would have been after you because he was a tight end too.
Me and Luke played together. We played together.
Okay.
Yeah, Luke came in, I think, 1 year after me, 2 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And Louis under the yeah.
So, and I ran into Kelsey and them in the thing. I had to take a picture. I totally forgot that Selleck was from Cincinnati.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know Selleck was from Cincinnati.
So, because they came into our room late.
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, Jason, I said, I gotta get a picture with you, man. We Ohio boys. He was like, you from Ohio? Where you from? I said, man, I'm from Cincinnati. And Selleck was like, you from Cincinnati? What part of Cincinnati you from? So I was like, dude, I went to Princeton High School, bro. He's like, man, I went to LaSalle. And we started hollering and screaming and all that kind of stuff. And so I got on camera. I said, Jason, you gonna come on my podcast, right? He was like, why not? I was like, so I got to figure out a way to get in touch with him because, like a dumbass, I forgot to get his number. So
Dave should have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch back with Dave, and I think what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get with Selleck first.
Okay,
I'm gonna try to get with Selleck first, and then kind of work my way up the ladder, man. Because I was like, man, if I could get Kelsey on my show, or I could at least get him to mention the Pro Fan Talk on New Heights.
Right.
And that's like going on Joe Rogan, bro.
Man, it's that the marketing in itself, blow up, bring it out. But more people need to hear about this. Marcus, man, you do a wonderful job.
I'm working on it, bro. We growing. We at 6,600.
We go.
So I'm doing my stats. Matter of fact, I just got on. I'm writing a plan now.
Okay.
The goal is to get to 10K subscribers by my birthday in July. My birthday is July 12th, so I'm just the month of July. I got to reach 10K. That's the goal.
There you go. Okay,
that's the goal. So, trying to get it done, man. Trying to line up guests, trying to get more former players and all that type of stuff, man. So, whenever you want to hook me up with Tony Gonzalez, man, go ahead and get that done.
I got you.
Let's go. I'm pulling all stops. I'm cashing in favors. I'm getting it all done, bro.
You know who would be another good guy, man? Sean Barber. So me and Sean did the same thing, man.
Okay.
Played in Philly. We played with Washington. Came to Philly, came out into Kansas City. So barbershop, man. He played with same old Tried and Doc and all them guys.
Yep. That's right, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get like I said, Irvin will be on next week, and then I'm gonna have Irvin hook me up. I mean, I guess he ain't gotta hook me up. I just gotta text Hollis, Big Tank.
Yeah.
Hollis is crazy, dude. Hollis is another one of them dudes, man. It's hard not to like that dude, man.
Yeah.
It's like everybody be gravitating toward him. I saw Hollis one time. This is a long time ago, bro. I saw Hollis. I was a good friend of mine. He is a cameraman for NFL Films.
Mm-hmm.
But he was up. I rode with him up to Dover while he was filming NASCAR. So I was running tapes for him. So he be his position was at that particular event, he was one of them guys in the pit box
Yeah.
with the pit chief, with the crew chief. You know, they got a camera always on them.
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
was
yeah.
in the same place, just on this crew chief. And what I would do is every hour or so, I would run back with him. He would take the empty tape, and I would give him a fresh tape, and I would run back and take his tape and his batteries, go recharge them, bring in a fresh battery and fresh tape. So because I was part of the press, I had free reign in all of the pit boxes.
Oh wow.
So dude, I got a clip. Literally, I am over the wall, and one of these cars, I think it was Kevin Harvick, comes through for a pit stop, and I'm over the wall with my camera, and literally it looks like he about to run me over, bro. I had so much fun there. I think I went to two or three races with him, man. Just doing behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm trying to hook up with him again and do that again, because he was at the parade, he was at the Super Bowl, but I think he was like on the roof of the Super Bowl. So like, yeah, my boy Frank Lazar, man. He shout out to Frank, man. That joke is everything. He sent me. I did a thing with him. He was in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
He was filming in Brazil, so he called me up. We did a FaceTime, and I recorded it. He was in the stadium in Brazil when they was getting everything set up. So I was like, let's do something with that, man. So yeah, I've been rocking with Frank for a minute, man.
Okay.
Good dude, man. So yeah, I'm pulling out all the stops, bro. I'm cashing in all the favors.
There you go.
Working my way up the ladder, bro. So, but yeah, this was a good show tonight, bro. Man, I appreciate you jumping on with me, homie.
Yeah, man. You know, I just want to come on, man, and show my love real quick. And I was like, man, I could check it out, and I sent it out to some of my guys as well. You know, Marcus and my dudes, and send it on our brotherhood down at EKU. You know, it's like shoot out. You know, shout out to our brother. You know, Marcus out here doing it.
Man, there was a dang it, I can't think his name either. There's a dude that's always in the chat.
Yeah.
And he's in Richmond.
Okay.
He's in Richmond because he was telling me that he went to some restaurant. He said he went to some restaurant and he saw a whole bunch of pictures of Coach Kidd. And I said, if you down there, you got to go to Gillum's. I said, because that's Bone. You don't know Bone, but I played with him, blah, 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 blah. So, and then on my stream the other night, he said he came on and he went to Gillum's, saw all the pictures and stuff like that. So he down there in Richmond somewhere.
Okay.
So, it's killing me that I can't remember his screen name. So, and I don't think he's in the chat right now. So, nope, I don't think so. If I see it, I'll recognize it, but I don't see it. But in any case, we're gonna be getting it done, keeping it live, bro. So we're gonna have to have another official hookup connect. I gotta have you as the guest of the night on the show, bro. So we gotta do that again real soon, man.
Man, hey, look, you know what it is, man. Let me know. Same thing over here, man. And they enjoy you over in Chief Concerns. You know, you bringing your expertise and stuff, man.
I'll be back on, man, for sure. For sure.
Oh yeah. So,
all right, brother.
My brother, listen, man. Love you, man. I'll talk to you
back, bro. Appreciate you, and I will holler at you again real soon.
All right. Cool.
My guy, Jason Dunn, man. Eastern Kentucky's finest. Philadelphia Eagle for 4 years, Kansas City Chiefs for 4 years, man. Good for him hopping on, man. I appreciate that, man. We had a hell of a show tonight, bro. We spitting straight fire. So finally got in touch with Dave Spadaro. He said, thanks for having him, Dave. Thank you once again, man. Everybody that was in the chat, man, this was nothing but love. I appreciate it. We had some good fun tonight, man. So now I got to jump off. I got a couple more videos I got to do. Like I said, I got to address this Colin Cowherd issue. Then I got to record a video about Saquon's deal and all that type of stuff, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. Trying to, you know what? No. The Saquon deal, that's Howie doing Howie thing. That's Howie strategically manipulating our salary cap to make a little bit more money for Saquon. So he lowered the cap hit by $6.5 million, and it's going to benefit us going into the draft. So that's what the Saquon thing was. That's Howie doing Howie things, man. That's Howie playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. So I'm going to cut that out and make a short out of it. That's my thing on Howie. But Colin Cowherd, I'm coming for your head, dog. So you'll see me in a minute. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody from coming in. Jason Sink, Appreciate you, brother William Galbraith. Appreciate the super chat, Pat Ryan, Bow 316. Doughboy, appreciate the heat, man. Appreciate the opinions, man. Everybody, Carl Patetti, my guy. Stephen Kelly. Appreciate you, Steve. I meant to answer this question before. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I think Becton is one of them dudes that he is better when the environment is right for him. And I think this environment is right for him, man. So appreciate you, Stephen. Did I miss anybody? If I did, charge it to my head, not my heart. My mom was in the building. Eagle Stewart, Marcus Price, Carlos, as usual, bro. Everybody, Alex, appreciate you bringing the hit. Also, memberships are coming. Memberships are coming. Got to get that on and popping pretty soon, man. So, but thank you for everybody being here. Don't forget, next Thursday, Irvin Fryer will be here, and we're going to keep doing big things. We are grinding, and we are growing, and we're going to keep making it happen, man. I appreciate each and every one of you being a part of my team, man. Love you, appreciate you. God loves you. Until next time, go Birds.